Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Now, since we on platforms where we can be a little bit, let's say 5 to 10% laid back, I love all these platforms because they come with a different type of sense. You got Facebook, no profanity, no religion. You got YouTube, misinformation. You got Twitch. Okay, you can bring me whatever you want, but I'm not gonna put everything onto the network because it always say it never recorded, but people keep adding themselves to my page. And then Twitter, freedom of speech. And then we got stream. So out of all of those, plus many, many more, it's at least 20 to 50 of them by category and SEO optimization. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes they don't. But their names, small time names are getting around there. Inspirational, trying to be the next Facebook people. I went way left field, but the point I'm making, let me get to the point. And I got two things to say, one joke. So I know a lot of y'all are like, when'd you get out? And I'm like, March of 2022. I was illegally admitted. Um, and then June of 2021, I was illegally admitted. But this is the same shirt I wore in March, getting out. Every shirt have a meaning. And I'm gonna get to Philly Cam in a second, but this is my show. This is how I rock. This is coming from the heart. And it'll lead to them because it's not gonna be my solid conversation because everything I say have a meaning. So use your inverted, and look carefully and listen carefully. Turn it downside up or upside down, whichever you prefer that you can tune into, and just know that this was the shirt I was wearing when I illegally got admitted out of the hospital in Santa Barbara, California. And I wanted to discuss what Philadelphia did to me and why I wanted to rebuild some people with my educational stance. I came to Philadelphia. I went, came mean past, which is, but present, the way came said, I went to Philadelphia. I went sounds more better. I went to Philadelphia and I was so drained mentally. I was not depressed. I to kind of backtrack, the last straw with trusting my ex-husband before I left him and went to Philadelphia was the gun to the head and two other things, the kiddie porn that I found before the gun to the head, and he was trying to kill me in my sleep. And so I left him. And he did what they did 9 or maybe 1,000 years ago to women, how they sit up there and say she's a witch and they burn her at the stake. Can't do that no more. So what do you do? What do you do for women who you want gone so you can get their pay and share it amongst your family? I mean, you were on the phone literally with your family all day. That's not normal. Even like, I couldn't imagine, even Donald Trump Jr. and Donald Trump, I can imagine, don't have that type of relationship. And if they do, it's a business. What did your mother do for you and you do for your mother that you had to be that close? But I'm not even going to go that far. So that's my mid story in Wilkes-Barre. Go and check the progress of 2020. So I went to Philadelphia. I was drained. I have to start from Philadelphia and tell my story myself. Since the production crew of Philly Cam don't want to, of the radio station, I created many of shows, and I drove through Philadelphia and lived in the worstest parts. I even created a show at a shelter, the main shelter that almost everybody goes to. Everybody. Everybody. So imagine that for a woman, one shower a day. The whole day. You can't unwind in your bed. You have to be outside. Imagine in the cold. Imagine if I didn't have my car in the cold, in the rain, standing out in a line. Oh, Allison, I passed out in the line. I wasn't high off of anything. I was poisoned. Let me tell you the story. I was in line. I had just got a cigarette from a lady and I fell out. By the time I woke up, everybody was just looking at me like I was crazy. I blacked out. Do you need a medical assist? I drove myself to the hospital. They couldn't find nothing wrong with me. It was what was peculiar about that in Philadelphia, which is very dangerous, by the way. I've never seen this woman that was behind me by five ladies. I don't understand. I've never seen nobody walk down the street like that. The only way somebody would walk down the street like that as an African American woman, you don't have money for makeup. There's no money for makeup that you put it on like this, like camouflage, like an African witch doctor with feathers coming out their stuff. And so I look to my back, and that's all I remember. I look to my back, I see them, and then I smoke my cigarette. This is in 2020. I walk through the parking lot. My car is parked. I get in line and I sat up there and I passed out. How long? I don't know. Now I did it again at another shelter in Philadelphia. I passed out. I went to two major shelters I went to a domestic violence shelter and I went to a main core shelter that all the emergencies rooms and including the VA got on their list. So imagine 50 to 100, that's what you can get in there if you show up. It's 25 people that can get in. If you don't show up, if you're out of line, if you get into it with somebody, what's going to happen to you? You think that was the nicest neighborhood? Try going to sleep every night. I put my phone in my bra, in right here in between my bra, tossing and turning because why? Not because I hear a little mouse, not because I see a little roach. You know why? Because I heard shots at night. That is not normal. In a city at night, they had to be all of 40 feet all night long. What are you doing? Like even the murderers or the terrorists. What war lasts all night in the city of Philadelphia? So who are you killing? It just sounds like you're going on a spree once it gets dark. That just sounds so 1,000 people dying a year. I walked in the VA once I got to Philadelphia. I asked for help. And this is going to lead me up to what Philly Cam meant to me, and what happened with Philly Cam. All of these stories leads up to why I wanted to be on Philly Cam. I've been through Strawberry Lane. I've been everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And I'm so disappointed in the fact that you guys didn't even give me a chance to tell my story to fresh ears and fresh eyes and get my name over the web and over the airwave. But when I went to the VA, I'm just saying, I really want to explain the story, but it's sickening and it's heartbreaking. I may have cussed, but I never fought them. They attacked me, and it's on camera. All I said was a key word. All I said was a key word, which is I know Marty Kaiser. And it infuriated the doctor. So he got 3 nurses. He got 2 officers, VA officers, to strap me down. They snatched my phone after I called the FBI and after I called the Philadelphia police on them. They snatched my phone. They locked the doors so I couldn't run. 2 grabbed me by my legs, 2 grabbed me by my arms, and then they just jerked me. I'm not gonna cry. The only reason I'm not gonna cry, because y'all deserve to hear this without me crying. And I'm doing it for y'all. So give me a second to regroup. They jerked me on my arms and my legs, and they strapped me down to a gurney, and I started cussing at them. And then they shot me up full of drugs. I woke up with my legs wide open, everybody acting like they don't know what happened. They told me to go upstairs. I went upstairs. I spent 2 weeks in there. And it was all illegal and orchestrated by the doctor, because his beginning words was, "We know your game, leave." What game did I play, doctor? What game did I play? Do you know the gameplay? because I was only being myself and honest. You made me lie. Just like I told you. You know what I told the doctor too? And the black kid? The doctor was white and the nurse dude was black, a black dude. I told the doctor, I said, and it's recorded. I have it recorded on my phone, 5 minutes of it. I said, you sicken me. I don't like to lie. Now you got me lying, saying stuff is majorly wrong with my stomach just to get here because I said I was homeless. I am homeless. Take care of me. I said I was homeless. Take care. And he escalated. And then I said, I know Marty Kaiser. And then I called, they said, put the gown on. You're going to stay here. Because I said, I'm going to the news companies, which never did anything like Philly Cam. Just like now, I got an email from Allison. You emailed me right away, but when I emailed you some positive stuff, in faith, good faith, that you would email me back properly, appropriately, professionally, without mentally trying to mind control me to be nervous. This would have never happened. This whole segment would have never happened if you did your job. We made mistakes. I made mistakes. I didn't even show up because I was being harassed. I didn't even show up because I was being harassed by an undisclosed party. But when I got somewhere safe, I made it and I went on time. I went on time, Allison, Philly Cam, the people that are watching me now. I went on time. She wouldn't let me film it. And I was okay with that. I never promoted y'all in that way. When I called, I had paid for the show. I paid for a year subscription. And I said, what should I do? And she said, lie. She said, lie about not being in Philadelphia no more. I mean, say that you're here. Say that you're here. Y'all want to hear the story? I don't need a script because it's coming from the heart and the mind. So I said, okay. I said, okay. I live in Philadelphia still. I said, okay, I live in Philadelphia still. And she said, say that, take an orientation class, and you're in. So I'm like, okay, good. Wholeheartedly, being honest. This is why I don't like when women do this to me. I am honest with you guys. I'm not fake. Y'all are showing that it's y'all that's fake with me. So anyway, I was like, okay. And I took three orientation classes. But I only showed up to one, and I had a half of one that I showed up to. I've been in correspondence with the Gabe. I've been in correspondence with Allison. All I wanted to do was get on the radio and tell my voice story. This is very disappointing. How many people do you do like this? I am hurt. I am very, very hurt. I spent money on you to promote you. That's not how it works. A major network like you need my promotion? I spent money on you to promote you. I spent 6 to 16 hours creating those banners and talking about you guys. I paid you to talk about you. No, there is absolutely no revenue from that business unless you scam somebody. I feel appalled. But funny thing, you guys, I want you to hear something 100% true. I lied. This is the core root. I wrote it correctly, but I spoke from the heart, and now I'm gonna fill in the blanks. I lied. Why would I lie? I lied for each and every one of you individuals out there watching my show because I wanted to grow my audience. I'll tell you why I lied, and I accepted lying. I knew God would accept it because me and the lady and God would say, God would be like, you know what, you did it because you wanted to get in the laws of the world, acceptance, influence, positivity, honesty, truth to the people of Philadelphia. He's not going to say, oh, you lied, you're going to hell. Now, the person who manipulates a high situation is two different things. It's two different things. I lied for a positive reason on this planet. You have to lie. And this is the perfect example. It's some examples that will forever be embedded in me and between me and God because I don't want to talk about it. But I have that right because nobody will understand. My view and my point will forever feel like it's being embellished or lied. So I don't want to talk about it. Back to the story. God is not going to accept that. If you manipulate in a vindictive, negative way by hindering a positive voice because she sounds different, she is different, she says who she says she is, how would you feel? What do you think God would do? Because you're working on jealousy. You're working on the emotion of jealousy, and that is a sin. I'm working on emotion of lying, which pays me no difference to help. Like, I listen to the equation before you judge what I'm saying. We have algebra. Listen to the equation. I, Kimberly Cloud, accepted lying for Philly Cam so that I can get my voice heard in a positive way because I know I'm telling the truth in front of more people. So I took that lie because I thought she was in a positive way, seeing my view. And what happened? What happened? They led me on. I paid them, I promoted them. This is the equation and how it went. I paid them, I promoted them. And when I promoted them, I continuously spent 6 to 16 hours promoting them. And then I still get no response from Allison until after I wrote her with Donald Trump name, personal email, and everybody else that's in the government. That is a disrespect. Your Philly family deserves to know what's going on with my story and how I reflected everybody. Like, it is not easy being Black. Do you think I'm lucky? No, I'm not lucky. I'm blessed to be alive. I saw Bike Man. I saw Bike Man going to the VA at 3 in the morning, sleeping on a mat, 3 feet, no blanket, staying up because it's just hungry eyes looking at you. I had a story to tell. So with that being said, you guys, that was my choice that I believe God will forgive On this planet, we are taught to lie, but some people, it's embedded in them to lie, manipulate, whatever, be corrupt, whatever. They are born, they know right from wrong, but they love wrong from right. If two wrongs don't make a right, we're going to add this equation. I got to figure it out. If two wrongs don't make a right, there's no wrong or right. There's just the power of choice. You got your negative, you got your positive, antimatter. Anything that has matter has antimatter. Just remember that. We're not perfect, but we know we are grown adults and know right from wrong. If you want to bully somebody, fine, bully somebody. I just want a refund. I just want a refund. I want it to be a positive voice. I never said anything bad about you guys. I never said anything bad. And finally, I just woke up out of a coma of thinking that Philly Cam was going to help me. And I said, enough is enough. I paid in July of last year. Think about it, you guys. I've been promoting them since July of last year. On or about, let me correct myself, on or about July of last year. You can say I learned my lesson. And, just even when the lie, if this was a corruption lie, I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't be like, I'm sorry, you guys. Back to the story. Oh, I hate when my footage mess up. So where was I at, man? Like seriously, let me look at the editing and where I last landed my eyes. No, don't be a Bill Clinton. Too easy. Don't be. If you turn me off this time, Bill, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Don't turn me off no more. President Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton. Because as soon as I was on there and I said that, he sat up there, he did it. Wonder why? Think about that. So let's focus on the goal. The goal is to sit up there and tell my story, which is pretty much Philly Cam, don't be a Bill. Don't sit up there and what is it? Lie and then admit it because you got caught in the lie. Like seriously, think about it. Think about it. So give me a second. So anyway, like I was saying, sorry you guys, this daggone camera. Anyway, I already told that story. I'm not going to include it on this. But anyway, don't be a bill. Don't be a bill. And to lie, to sit up there and purposefully say, I did not have sexual relations. I never lied about Philly Cam. You know what I did? You know what I did? I sat up there and I was like, never said nothing. I didn't lie. If you say something, it's a lie. If you never say nothing, it's not a lie. If you say something, and that goes into terms whether it's negative or positive. If somebody asks you a question about something, you have the right to just not say nothing if it's between you and God. You reserve the right to not say nothing. But when you're president of the United States of America, where millions of lives are in the balance of what's been going on, you owe it to the public to show your true intentions, your mistakes. You can never say a president never make mistakes. Some get caught and some don't. Just like who do you think wrote the Constitution? Do you think they were 100% like, unless it was Jesus, since we praise Jesus so much, since we say he's our savior, unless it was Jesus or a God, until you show me that these people that wrote the Constitution did not kill a black person in vain, did not promote violence against a black person during that time in vain. You got one half of the Constitution fighting for us, and you got another half that wasn't even fighting. And half of the black people accepted being slaves. Think about your history and how it repeats itself. Who really want the Constitution to look good? Because you can't tell me that everybody in the Bible, anybody in the Constitution did not drink. Jesus made wine, so we drunk. Isn't that a sin? Make up your mind what sins are sinny sins and what plays the playbook for what feels good in the Constitution for you and your rights as an elite individual, and help us instead of limiting our ability as an African American black woman. We was there. I mean, you think we just popped up out of nowhere? Do you think these drugs just popped up out of nowhere? Coca leaves? We was back in the Mayan day. And I have a point for saying this. Drugs was back in biblical times. Makeup, for those who don't even know, was back in biblical, the Bible. It was mentioned in the Bible about makeup. Nobody loves the hints. Jesus floated down in a cloud. You know, it's just crazy to me. I'm starting to believe that I am. Only reason why I believe I am is because of what has happened to me twice. What is the probability of it happening twice? How many people get mad? How many people get mad, they yell, and they don't go to jail? Or they get mad, they yell, they point their finger at the police, and they don't get arrested. Or they get mad, and they yell, and they don't get sent to a mental institution. Like one Caucasian white woman fought two police officers, and the canine bit her in the leg, upper leg. Imagine that feeling. And she screamed, and screamed. I think that's the proper way. It's funny, it sounds funny, but she screamed. She screamed. Like she didn't scream, she screamed. And she sat up there and she sued them. And she lost because they didn't find it probable that she should have been fighting the police officers. So many people said that was wrong. So many people said the police was wrong. I fought tooth and nail to talk good about you guys. You good guys. And he came down amongst the clouds, man. And I'm starting to believe I am him because it's like I work for God and I work for him. So what does that make me? If I truly work for him. You know, everybody gets mad at George Washington. George Washington had false teeth. He had wooden teeth. And he used to try to mac on women that was older than him. Our president. How cool is that? That is some knowledge for yourselves, right? And let me make sure I'm on here. Okay. And so they passed him off to another woman, and he was actually born into slavery. He was actually he wasn't born the same way we were born into slavery, but he didn't get the land or property until his brother died. And then he got the land and the property. Oh my God. I have to say this. It's meant to say, because it's just these visions coming in from what I saw. So I'll end with George Washington because I didn't get a chance to talk about you. And you've been rocking with me since yay high, you and food stamps. So paper food stamps, all my black people like, and some of my lower class white people like, yeah. So he used to try to mac on older women, and he was like 15, she was like 19. And, you know, we know he had wooden teeth. We know he fought wars where it's so funny because he never got killed. He came close to death a couple of times in Philadelphia. I think this is a Philadelphia, Britain type thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, dude. I didn't read the whole thing, but when I read it, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to talk about it, okay? You know, but he is awesome. He rocks. He did a lot of stuff, but I don't remember everything by heart. I stopped it 15 minutes in, and it's a 44-minute segment. And I have to catch up on my history, man. It's so interesting. I don't understand why I did not know all it. I used to get F's, and it's going to show when they look at my history. I used to get F's in history. Now I don't know how I'm just so, it's in my blood. But during that time, I couldn't concentrate. So yeah, that's what makes me happy, and that's what goes through my mind. I know they're going to cut, snip, edit. I don't care. Only the people that's rocking with me right now. I don't know. I had a lot of people on, and then some people got off. But the people that are rocking with me, I appreciate you guys. You my originals. You are my originals. And I don't want to talk about Philly Cam no more. It's meant for me to talk about Jesus Christ because I'm like, why illegally admit somebody twice for mentioning Marty Kaiser name? If you don't know who Marty Kaiser is, Marty Kaiser stay 2 hours away from you. Everybody know who Marty Kaiser is. That's a government official. The probability of that is very advanced to 65 to 72% probability that he knew who Marty Kaiser was when I said Marty Kaiser. And I said I was Jesus Christ in Baltimore. They drugged me. I said I was Jesus Christ in Philadelphia. They drugged me. I said I was in Jesus Christ in Santa Maria, California. They drugged me. I've seen spaceships. I've seen a gray. And I was so scared, y'all, that I jumped. This was during the enlightenment in the Mayan calendar and the rebirth of a new calendar year, because the Mayan calendar was dying. And we all made a prayer. And I don't know what I prayed for because it was so long ago. But one thing I do wish is that I get that thought back, what I wished. Maybe I wished to see an alien. And I got my wish. That's what scared me. Because before, I'm going to stop that thought and pick up when I heard like 10 sounds over there. Nobody's over there. There's nothing over there. And I went over there and I tapped with it and it just subsided. It's no pipes over there. So back to the alien, I was like, I saw it. It was like all scriggly. I'm sorry, Men in Black, but it was all scriggly and gray. And I said, what the? And so I took the covers, my husband, sleep. I took the covers. I never told nobody this secret. Never. But I have another story to tell about aliens in a second. So I took the covers and I put it over my head like I did when I was younger, when my door used to open. Literally, you can see the crack of the door open and it's just darkness. And it's opening and it's a little light in your room because there's no electricity. So I put the covers over my head, and you think for 1 second that a gray is just going to go away because you put the covers over your head when they have it technology, when they got technology where they can see you from the sky. You think, because all I remember is putting the covers over my head, and then I black it out. This baby, I've seen, okay, I was asleep one day and my other husband woke me up and he said, there was something hovering over you. And I said, what do you mean? He was like, he's never said that before. He said, I kind of like believe him, but it's a 50-50 chance he could be lying based on what has happened now. Maybe I woke up and he saw that I woke up and he was trying to figure out how to, or whatever. So, but it's just the way he drew this person, because I made him draw whatever was hovering, he supposedly said was hovering over me. And it looked just like the same gray. Now that I can remember a little bit more, that was, he drew. Like he was trying to see if I remembered, or I don't know. But that was the same gray I actually seen on this screen when I was watching. I seen this shapeshift within the screen. when I was watching an alien movie about a true life documentary about aliens. And this was in Mountaintop, PA before I moved. And I was watching, what is this? He always makes the name not disclosed. You got two brilliant alien people. You got why can't I remember their names? Two brilliant people. Anyway, it was a convention June 26, 1995, and he spoke. He saw a gray, a different type of gray. And he had a security clearance and everything, and he was walking through he was digging underground base tunnels. And because he said that they have advanced civilizations underneath our feet. And he said it's like nothing compared to the trains, even the speediest of the speediest trains right now, within all over across the globe. Nothing compares to the technology that they have below. So why would grays, and I know why, but I'm just gonna say this, leave you for the thinking. Why would grays live underground and have all this advanced technology underground? You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing if they are advanced by 50 years to 100 years than us underground. So, you know, he fell underneath the dirt into a secret military chambers where he had his first encounter with two grays and a bunch of generals and other aliens. And I believe he was the alien. That's why they won't let me remember his name, because the video footage in there was old. But let me tell you the story. He sat up there, he fell in a tunnel, he encountered a gray, he shot it, he killed it. The other one, yes, they're killable. The other one sat up there and did this with his hand. And the alien blew 3 of his fingers off and blew his stomach up a little bit, enough to cause cancer and disable him in one hand where all he do is this. And later on, he committed suicide. And his wife don't believe it was him that committed suicide because he was on the right path to telling the truth. Another one. And Bob Lazar and Bob Lazar, and what's the other one? Where is the other one? Oh my God. I have to say, Bob Lazar, I'm going to get on Bob Lazar in a second. Bob Lazar, he was creating weapons for Area 51. Not weapons, but I'm sorry, y'all. I know the government like weapons. No, he was creating, all the people that know the story, he was creating disc shape. No, he was reversing disc shape technology of advanced civilizations or civilizations outside this planetary galaxy system. I don't know how they got there. I don't know how they became there. But I've also, I'm gonna put his Bob Lazar's on hold to tell you another story where you touch something, a device in Area 51, and like a mood ring, it changed the vehicle, the actual device or the entity, whatever it is, it changes color based on your mood. And certain people were allowed to touch it. And so back to Bob Lazar, he said he got recruited by some scientists And he said he had to fill out a stack. I can't even, he said a stack thick, and I'm doing that purposefully because that's how many papers it was of paperwork. And then he did it. After he did that, he told him that the first person that worked on a spacecraft got blown up and died because he touched a certain part and it's rigged a certain way. So he blew up the material. The material blew him up. So are you ready to go with this project, Bob Lazar? And he goes, yes. Just like I signed my life away. I signed my life with a story. I have a story, but he signed his life away. I signed my life to a story. We all assign our life to a story. So he sat up there and he started messing with it. This beautiful device, he said. And he fell in, it let him, it fell in love with him. And he was able to reverse the mechanics on parts of it. But he started to rebel, and he's brought his friends to Area 51, where they forbid that. And they got rolled up on by the MPs. And he got banned. And they act like they didn't know him. And I was like so surprised. I was laughing because we all make mistakes, even the world physicists and mechanics, Bob Lazar. And so he felt so bad, just like I felt bad for making my mistakes. But the government pretended like they never knew who he was, like he never even existed. I mean, when you hashtag somebody, don't that mean you reach out and touch somebody? That's a signal. That's not I called the White House. The number you reach has not been in service. Like, we're going to end up hashtagging people and they're going to be like, hashtag denied. Think about it. Hashtag denied. Pay to get your hashtag. I hope I'm not inventing stuff in the future. I just had to say that. They're going to be like, hashtag costs $1.99 per hashtag. Dirty hashtag deal. So anyway, I don't even know where I am. It's meant for me to end here. Yeah, I was talking about hashtags and the government. Oh, Bob Lazar. How long did that take me to reboot? Okay, so Bob Lazar. I was saying how Bob Lazar. What part was I at? I was at the part where the government did not recognize him as a person no more. But imagine that, y'all. I'm not going to tell on myself on this one, but I would like to say something that's very important. He touched that vehicle. Just like these doctors touched Roswell, the alien creature that's all over the web. When you are around their frequency, if you get touched, if you get probed, and remember, that's like, I'm just joking, aliens. Some of them could be, invading in your thoughts. But the positive thing about that is that every thought that I have, since I told you guys, my thoughts and everything has been positive. I may get mad, but they've been positive thoughts, I feel that these memories that I get, are a gift from them, because I just want to live and help people. I just want to live and help people. My name, my initials ring true. You're like, how could this person be Jesus Christ? How? A equals 1. I'm not going to go through the whole alphabet. So I'm going to go from the beginning to the end. And Z equals 26. So there's 26 letters to an alphabet. My birthday is 7/3. Add up goddess. Add up Jesus Christ. Split up the 2. It's 10 and 3. J and C. But there's a catch to that. Every code that my name is after Jesus Christ. I'm the beginning, the split of the next generation. Any binary code, you have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and it goes all the way up till you get to 9 ones. And then it goes to 0, 10. And then it starts again, 11, instead of just 1. So let's go back to KC. Angels has helped me along the way. I forgot to even mention the angels I saw. They're in human form. KC, 11 and 3. 911, we are connected. If you were to break it down to its lowest element, it would equal 311. Still don't believe me. Y2K. Y is 25, 7. 7 plus 2 is what? 9, which is 3. K, 11. So remember your numbers. I'm about to play it off, y'all, because it freaks me out. It freaks me out, even knowing. I mean, I can speak all day about what I knew, what I didn't know, who I met. I met a guy with a triangle pupil. I didn't actually see the triangular pupil, but he said he had a triangular pupil. And he said, he showed me his pupil, I couldn't see it. But then he took a needle and pierced his eye. And then it deflated. And then over the course of the months, it inflated again. And he had HIV. Like I met some weird, and then Scranton, I'll say this, and I promise you, I put that on God. I'll get on here and we'll talk some real stuff. This right here, listen up. I was coming from the Starbucks in Scranton. Who from Scranton, y'all? Who's from Scranton? This was in 2020, all of late 2020. Our great president, Biden. And I'm driving my Traverse, my 2020 Chevy Traverse, down the highway, a dark highway, 2-lane highway, open lane, and then another lane, 4 full lanes. Nobody can come and cross the intersections because the way the intersections are. And I look to my right, and I see a spaceship. Now, before I found out my husband cheated on me with my employee and got her pregnant and had a hickey on his neck and put a gun to my face and was a pervert, I started calling him perverts. That's why I'm remembering it. Thank you, aliens. I started calling him perverts because I didn't understand why he would urinate 10 to 15 feet away from kids. I started saying, why the F are you doing that crap? So, I don't know. Put a gun to my head. He took the gun. I said, we were arguing over him cheating. He got my employee pregnant. He did all this stuff to me. He was putting water in my throat. He was putting something in my throat, causing me to choke in a sleep. I started sleeping on the floor. I started in my cat would watch over me at night. The last time I slept with him, I woke up and then for a whole minute I was choking, and he, with his eyes wide open, was just staring at me like he was trying to take my soul. And he signed his name to Satan when he was 12, he said. So what did he sacrifice in order to have so many good things happen to him? Because that's what's happening. He shouldn't have got that retirement money. That is sick, man. I don't understand how he sacrificed. And guess what I did, y'all? I think that is meant for me to have these visions. I asked him with an evil grin. I said, what did you do to get what you needed? How, because he kept saying he sold his soul to the devil. I found a bloody feather in the garage. What is going on? So I said, what did you do? How did you do it? I cut my hand. I made a letter, and I made a sacrifice. But he didn't say what, who, or how, because there's many ways of sacrifice. So I did it, but I did it in opposite. I called Dr. Michael, the archangel. I cut myself right in his effing face. I did it. And I drew a circle around me and I called on them to get me out of there because he's sick and he's satanic. I choked for a whole minute. I choked for a whole minute and he stared at me in my eyes. No emotion. No, nothing. Nothing was there. After that, I slept on the floor. And my cat would watch me. He was on the phone with his mother 24/7.